Come on, come on, come on. Just let us adore you.
Oh, hello. Welcome back to another episode of The Main Entree, a podcast brought to you guys by Desnudo magazine. I am your host, your photographer, your editor-in-chief, DeAndre, and I'm here again with Jeff.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
Hi.
thanks for coming back for another episode.
Oh my God. I'm so excited for today's episode.
Okay, guys, listen. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about Steven the Universe.
I don't know if our viewers are aware of how much.
Oh, wait, they're our viewers?
I'm so sorry.
I love that.
I'm
Guys,
not taking ownership of any of this, but-
I want Jeff to be a regular.
Regular Degular.
And he's kind of hesitant, but he is just going to do a few episodes with me. But I really would love for him to be like a permanent co-host in the future.
Let me get my mic.
I wanna
And a good Wi-Fi
I
connection.
wanna speak into existence. Yeah, we could do remote podcasting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a little difficult to sync everything up in terms of sound, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I actually just wonder how many viewers of ours also are as emotionally invested in Steven Universe as we are, because I think we've watched every single episode and the movie. And it's slow to start, but once you get into it, it is
It's very episodic, like most cartoons are. But then there's like character growth and plot lines and callbacks to previous episodes and seasons, which I personally love. Most cartoons don't do that. I mean, more modern day cartoons do that, but like back in the day, you never had like a story of a character growing over a period of time and dealing with emotional trauma and a loss of a parent or
absolutely
not feeling belong.
It's a very emotionally mature
and it's still is what's the word, palatable for kids,
to adults as well as kids.
And kids, yeah. That's why I'm like, wait a second, Steven Universe, you're doing what needs to be done. You're doing what should have been done.
There is a huge amount of emotional baggage that a lot of characters bring into the show. And Rebecca Stone, who writes and directs the show.
Wait, Rebecca Sugar.
I'm so sorry. Rebecca Sugar puts into this series in resolving all of them in a healthy way. Mm-hmm. We see things like feelings of loneliness, betrayal. We see absolute betrayal with Rose's reveal. Even something as simple as...
I mean, we're not surprised about that reveal, actually.
Right. The fans already dug that up.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
fabricated that. I even remember, one of my favorite things is Connie's conversation with her mom, who is a very uptight, overly controlling. Something as simple as that is so important for coming of age stories for kids, because then now they know how to communicate to their parents how they feel.
Or they can recognize a similar dynamic. Oh, me and my mom are like that too. Mm-hmm. This is how Connie did it. This might be some way that I can also approach the situation.
Right.
Because even though Connie stood up for herself, but she was still hesitant to do so. She was still kind of like, this is how it's always been. How dare I push against my mother or my parents?
She loves her.
Yeah.
But she also still needs to pick up that dang sword and kill that thing.
So do you, Jeff.
Oh my God, yeah. I have so many mommy issues, but let's save that for another episode.
Right.
What's your favorite thing about Steven Universe?
Okay. So my favorite thing is probably the art style. Mm-hmm. I love, what's it called, Beach City? Mm-hmm. I just love the scenery of it so much. All the pastel colors they use for the water, for the beaches, for the storefronts, even for the characters inside this, like the attention to detail.
Yes.
To their setting,
the theme,
it makes it
motifs.
I don't know if I've seen any type of animated series based on a beach front type of city, but this may be the first one that I know of. But it was a nice change of pace.
Yes.
Lots of times there's like a busy town or a cul-de-sac or, and to have a beach and like a nice vibe and the characters act like you would think they would on a beach. Like Steven and his dad, they're like very, very chill, very, very jovial, walking around in the van, playing music.
It's a different pace of life than a lot of the go, go, go that we currently have in our society, where you have to have everything regimented, planned out from birth to school to post school and college grad. You have every single thing
But
planned out.
but they do have characters who feel that way though. What was that? What was that one boy, Onion's brother, who wanted to like make music, and his dad was, wait, is that Onion's brother?
It is onions. It is sour cream.
Sour Cream. What was his storyline? He was like against his like dad, or his dad was a con artist, or
Wasn't his father
a music producer. He was something.
right? That old shriveled up person who worked with Mr. Universe.
Right. It's been so long since I've seen like earlier Steven Universe episodes, so I'm kind of forgetting. But you guys know what I'm talking about.
Right. He wanted to just do music just like his dad, but his dad was a total sellout and an actual creep.
That's yes. So I like how not everyone was like just like a beachy stereotype. Everyone had like different.
Right. Some people left and they had a different pace of life.
And they wanted to leave, and some people, wanted people to stay. And my favorite dynamic is the twins.
The ones that are stuck together.
No, the twins, the sisters who worked at the pizza place.
Oh yes, at Fish Head Pizza.
Yeah, I like one sister always covers for the other one.
Come on, representation.
She always covers for the other one, but they have that episode where they went to their dreams, and she would like to be asked rather than say, "Oh, well." She asked her, but she always is going to say yes. And she wished the sister would kind of consider her feelings, because every time she's always like, "All right, I'll do it for you. I'll cover for you." While she went to concerts and band practice and all these other things, and the other girl had to take over and basically do all the work. And I love how they touched on that, because sometimes, especially in family dynamics, you look out for each other, but like you also can take advantage of that, which was what happened, which I liked that they showcased. And I also like how they're mixed though, right? They're black and Indian. Is their dad Indian?
I don't recall. I thought they were both. I thought that they were just black in general. I didn't know that they were mixed.
Is like Indian or something. I could be wrong about that.
Well, I mean, he does have an accent. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
I do love their grandmother. Their grandmother is a hoot and a half.
Right.
Hoot nanny.
I also like what's that girl's name? She likes Lars. What's the donut shop?
Oh, Sadie.
Sadie. I almost said Connie.
So,
Sadie.
Jumping off of Sadie, and she basically has a really interesting role, because when we first learn of her, she just works at the donut shop, and she is like she has a low self-esteem, and she has these feelings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we meet Lars, who is an emotionally unintelligent person who is very rude and mean to her, and basically doesn't know how to treat people right. And then we see him grow as a person, and we see her grow as a person.
Right.
Then they're together, and then they're apart. It's just an excellent dynamic, just to show to us kids who are watching a healthy way to go in and out of a relationship and how to move past it.
Which they showcase Steven not being able to handle that.
Really, really.
He
really
was
great.
like, "Oh, Lars, you're upset about Sadie." He's like, Steve, I'm good. Like, calm down.
You seem a little more
totally
upset.
fine. Well, and Steven Universe Future, remember he tried him in that bubble?
Yes, and then he was like, you're gonna crush us.
Because he was afraid of change, and they were changing and doing and going different ways, and he was like, "Oh no, you guys, Lars, you love her. Like, stop playing these games." When she has a whole significant other with her, like Steven, come on now. But like he had to learn that lesson. Like, hey, people can grow apart, be apart, and be fine with each other.
I think that my absolute favorite thing about Steven Universe is their inclusive representation. Because never in any film that I've watched from Cartoon Network has there been such a blatant display of affection that can be both platonic as well as romantic in between female presenting. Because I don't know if you guys all know the lore of Steven Universe, but the main protagonists, the Crystal Gems, they are femme presenting, but they are actually without sex or gender. They do not originate from Earth. They may be, they are crystal gems that have been given life and meaning in a universe far, far away by White Diamond, and they.
Come on, history lesson.
and although they are femme presenting, they don't have a gender or sexual orientation. And so when we put our human rules in sexuality and gender on them, it doesn't make sense. And so when they give us these extremely when we take these extremely difficult concepts in our life, and we simplify it to something as simple as they're friends, they really care about each other deeply, they fuse, and that is from a strong bond, but it doesn't always have to be romantic, and it doesn't define them because they're best friends and they kick ass together. And then they start fusing with Steven, and Steven and Connie fuse, and it is romantic. But regardless of all that, they're breaking these constructs, and they make children question, because something that seems so convoluted is so simplified in Rebecca Sugar's imagination. She just makes everything so easy for kids. The whole sexuality thing.
I think also for adults
Excellent.
too, you can see that and be like, oh wait, because I think Steven Universe is like almost therapeutic in a way. It can express what you kind of feel.
Right. There's two kinds of films. There are the escapist films, like superhero movies, where you can lose yourself in this extremely cool science fiction world or galactic wars, etc. And then there's relatable family entertainment where you can apply your own struggles in life, see it in a different person. Like, I'm just gonna say that Amethyst at first was my least favorite character because she was just not relatable to me. And then
she's so obnoxious. And you're like, girl, you're doing a lot.
She acting up. But after a while, you peel back all those layers and you realize she is a lost, hurt, and feeling basically abandoned by the first mother figure in her life by Rose.
You know what's crazy?
And she's suddenly relatable, lovable.
You know, when you ask me my favorite character, and I'm always like, well, it's Garnet. But I think it's not Garnet.
Who's your favorite character?
Is her name Lapis?
Lapis Lazuli.
The one that got trapped under the water?
The Sapphire.
She was an emotional...
Not Sapphire, I'm sorry, Lapis, yep.
Emotional wreck with so much baggage, so much hurt and pain for the longest time. She was forced to be fused with old girl. What's her name? That big one?
Jasper,
right?
Mm-hmm. Big old girl.
Forced to be fused with her. They are trapped at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, it wasn't forced. She basically decided that
before though, she had to be forced to fuse with Jasper, and the dynamic was so unhealthy.
Right. Codependent,
yeah, and she felt like she had to be with her to. What was her reasoning? Why did she
basically
feel she
said, Jasper, Jasper was gonna fuse with Lapis so that they could basically destroy the crystal gems, take revenge for Jasper, etc., etc. And after Lapis realized that those were her friends, and someone she cared about, or maybe she just, for whatever reason, out of hatred for Jasper using her, decided that they were going to live together, and so she was going to punish Jasper by forcing her to live with her at the bottom of the ocean. And she's just been internalizing that abuse that Jasper's been doing to her every single day.
Right. And the thing is, she was, they got out, right? And she became like roommates with, what's your favorite?
Peridot.
And it was so cool. I won't say cool, but like it was interesting to see how she was still dealing with all her issues. And having someone try to help her out, especially because Peridot did not know the proper way to kind of help someone, but she tried to.
I think it's really interesting because I may totally be off. Rebecca Sugar may completely disagree, but Peridot, just from how she has, either she is just super otherworldly and has such poor understanding of human dynamics.
She's a fish out of water for real.
Right, that she cannot understand social cues, or she may actually be a really cool representation of someone on the spectrum, and she may be trying to comfort Lapis in all of her PTSD and not have the tools, or just the same way of thinking as Lapis would.
The thing is, I never cared for her. Peridot, I really did not care for that character. I sure didn't. But with her dynamic with Lapis, I was like, I'm liking her more and more as this goes on. I mean, she was kind of getting my good graces with her dynamic with Steven.
I mean, we love a waterbender.
With Steven, but then with Lapis, when she started bonding with her, or at least trying to help this girl out who has all this trauma, Lapis is a mean person. she's so angry and upset. So she's not always the nicest. And for Peridot to kind of look past that and still try to help, regardless, I was like, all right, Peridot, okay, you're making points. You're cool, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, seeing Peridot's transformation was interesting too. She basically lost her limb enhancers, which were kind of a almost like losing her last piece of her last pieces of connection to Homeworld, where the gems are from.
Mm-hmm.
And when she let those go, and she realized that she and all of her, I guess 3 feet 5 glory is all she got.
She is tiny.
She's all of her tiny self, and she's as lovable as she can be.
Yes, she can be
at that size
right.
with all of her, inabilities. That's when she was able to also love others. And
I was shook when she cussed
we're here
out.
for it.
Who's that golden one? The golden supreme one from the Diamond Planet.
Yellow diamond.
When she cussed her out on the phone.
Oh yeah.
I was like, not Peridot.
You Claude.
She was so proud of her being a gem and yada yada. Mm-hmm. And over the course of time, she was like, wait a second, you can be more than what they tell you to be. And she cussed her out, cussed Yellow out. I was like, oh, she gonna come for you, but I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you stood up to her, but I'm scared for you. Sweaty, I'm so scared for you. Because Yellow looks scary. Yellow don't play no games. As you see her like authority, like how she was. I was like, oh, baby girl.
Now, spoilers ahead, because I want to talk about the final season of Steven Universe. Not Steven Universe Future, Steven Universe when they take the fight to Homeworld. So if you don't want to hear it, just skip this part.
First we'll go on a break, and then we'll meet you guys back here.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. Feel free to check out our website, desnudomagazine.com, where you can check out the latest issue of our magazine, available in digital and print, as well as our international edition. Also, you can shop all of our streetwear apparel, from our hats to our hoodies to our shirts to our stickers, and we have mugs. Anything you think of is right there as well. Also, follow us on social media at Desnudo Magazine on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, as well as the podcast Instagram at The Main Entree. Now back to the show.
And we're back.
And we're back. And we're live from New York. Wait, we are in New York.
I know. I can't believe you came all the way here. I just want to state that the song Giant Woman, where he goes, all I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman. All I thought was he's saying drag queen.
Wasn't there one episode where he was a drag queen?
Oh my God, yeah, Steven
He had the makeup on, and was it he was like doing it in place of Sadie or somebody?
Yes. Oh my God, he had like all the makeup, and then he had like a little star.
A little star.
Ding 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 ding. And then he started singing and floating. Oh my God.
Steven said, what's the term? Gender norms? Who?
Gender norms. Anyways, back to the last season of Steven Universe, where they bring the fight to Homeworld.
I love all the 45 different versions of the fusions and combos they did.
Mm-hmm. Mix and match, girl.
First of all, I'm a big fan of Pearl's new cropped jacket.
Oh my God.
Like 80s aesthetic. As you guys know, she had a ballerina demeanor, ballerina vibe. But then, even though she still has that kind of, because of her long legs and feet, but she has like a very 80s S-type style, which I love how they did her with this new look. I also like Amethyst. I'm not sure if her current look is the cut off shoulder shirt.
No, I think
with the belly ring showing.
I think now she has like high-waisted pants, shorts, high-waisted
maybe
shorts, but she looks more she went from more child to more teenage, you know?
Well, her growth.
Mm-hmm.
Her growth.
Come on, coming of age story.
Right.
We love a coming of age story.
Do you like Garnet's new?
Everyone loves everything Garnet does. She could do
before and after Garnet is still A1, like either or.
You know what shakes me to this very day is when Garnet took off her hair and it was heavy.
Wait, what?
You don't recall? She'd like her hair.
You lying? You making that up? I've never seen that.
Oh my God!
You are lying.
I'll show you after.
Show me after, because that doesn't sound. That sounds like a meme, like someone like parody, like, oh, I'm taking my garment hair off.
Like Melon Cat. Speaking of the final scene with basically them confronting blue and then yellow and then in turn white.
The
It was
diamonds.
right, the diamonds. It was a huge show of strength from a band of misfits to the celestial powers that we thought were
Celestial
like the
powers.
overlords of the show.
Right.
And it was a way of sticking it to them. And we see that Rebecca Sugar's philosophy that there are no real fights, only misunderstandings.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Rebecca, you better do that.
Right. And we see Steven, or no, actually, no, Stevani.
Stefan, first of all, I love that name.
Stevani's great.
I want to, if I ever get an animal, it might be Stefani. If not, Etrigan.
Oh, work. I love that.
Right.
Stevani is basically in a jail cell with Blue visiting her. And then basically, Stevani confronts Blue and says, basically, when in the past, when Pink would used to misbehave, Blue would make her feel sad and terrible about what she did and would lock her in the room. And that was an unhealthy kind. It was a kind of emotional abuse.
I mean, Blue is, and just because of that, is scary.
Right. And then Blue, instead of basically lashing out, which she does, she realizes that physically that she has been hurting Pink in the past and is now hurting Stevani in the current. And that she's been doing this the whole time. And then she did something that was absolutely remarkable. She apologizes,
What?
understands how terrible
Excuse me?
emotional trauma could have been to Rose, and then helps Stevani escape. And then, they run into Yellow, and then the awesome scene between Yellow and Blue fighting. Ugh.
This show, and okay, how did you feel when you first saw White Diamond? Because that heifer is massive and creepy and intimidating.
Oh my God.
And
she got one good eye on this side and one good eye on the other side. She's just that big.
She's that big. Did you feel like, okay, this is the big baddie? Did you feel like that from her?
She was like,
or did you feel like, well, she's not that intimidating? She's not like,
hello,
I thought she
Starlight.
I thought she'd be kind of like more like a tyrant. Because I have mixed feelings on her, like just seeing her design
She
and see
was
how
an
her presence.
OCD, gigantic white lady.
You know what? It reminded me of Lady Tremaine from Cinderella, the stepmom.
Really?
She gave me that kind of like. She's like the stepmom, and the other two are her stepdaughters.
She looked like a all white painted Statue of Liberty to me.
She did.
Oh my God. I cannot tell you that when I saw her shoes and her feet, and that was all you saw because that was how large it was, I was cackling.
It was a big heifer.
Oh my God.
She came through, click, click, oh, click, click.
Mm-hmm. And then we basically learn at the very end of the show that this whole entire time she's been forcing everyone to be perfect.
Right. That's what made her
so OCD, so power hungry. Everything needed to be micromanaged and perfect. And then,
that's the thing with the diamonds. They're extremely controlling on so many different levels.
And then you realize that Blue and Yellow were overly controlling and extremely judicious and unbudging.
Even Rose.
Because of White Diamond, because of how terrible she was. The abuse trickles down.
And Pink also was abusive and like they all damaged goods.
You know who Pink definitely abused the hell out of?
Segue to the one of my favorite musicals is the Steven Universe movie. Mm-hmm. When I tell you, I'm not gonna lie, I did not know it was gonna be a musical when I first watched it. I watched it on.
The damn show is a musical.
I know, but like this movie was like musical through and through. I watched it when it was premiering. I got in the living room, got my snacks, tuned into Cartoon Network. I know I'm a grown man, but I don't care. I went and I was like, all right, Steven Universe movie, I'm gonna watch it. And they said no commercial breaks. And I was like, I love that for us, you and we.
Oh, we stand.
We stand. And I was like, okay. Now, obviously, this is before Steven Universe Futures, but it's like I guess foundation of it. The segue, the in between.
A huge part of the canon.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have Steven, his normal life, he think he grown now. He's 16. He think he grown, driving. And you kind of catch up with everybody. And I love the song.
Whoever they chose.
The song "We Are in the Future."
Oh yes,
and it's bright,
hyper vamped up.
Basically, if
intro.
you didn't watch the series, that song can just catch you up for the most part.
Oh my god! And then it's an excellent intro because they include a little bit of every main protagonist. Everyone gets a moment to shine. They tell a little bit about themselves. And I'm just a sucker for a guitar. I mean, what is it? Electric guitar in the back, always just near, just excellent.
And the melody of the song, how the Gems, sung the lyrics. I just loved it so much. I actually played a lot on my Apple Music afterwards. I was like, this is a bop, and I have. Yeah, I listened to the English version, the Spanish version, the Portuguese version. I could not get enough.
Portuguese.
Oh yeah, they have a Portuguese version too, and I had to listen to it. And also because of this movie, I have appreciation for I call them like the reserve crystal gems. Lapis, Peridot, and what's it called with the dreads? With the rainbow dreads?
Oh gosh, she's on the tip of my head.
I know.
The big old lady. Bismuth.
Yeah. I appreciate them so much more now than I thought I did, because if the main three ever got, knocked out, which, spoiler alert, that's what happened, they kind of stepped in to be like the maternal figures to Steven and the defense and everything, and they're capable, cause especially Lapis with her waterbending.
I hate that I call everything that's water controlling to be
waterbending.
Any aquaforming,
right?
Yeah, it's waterbending. Speaking of person that Rose basically completely abuses, Spinel, the antagonist, main antagonist in this movie, there are so many layers.
Okay, homegirl. Okay, first off, let's talk about her design. Very old timey 40s cartoons. How'd you feel? I think when I first saw her, I was kind of like, it was kind of jarring to see her kind of like be all string beanie and like old school. But after a smooth minute, I was like, I like how she is so different than the other characters. Well,
so she came in as a super villain, but for whatever reason, even though she'd been out of practice for a whole minute, I mean, she'd been waiting thousands of years for Rose to come back. She come back and kick everybody ass like she never left the dojo.
And these gyms have been battling their whole life, and she's been sitting on that planet for like ever. And before that, she was just assistant, a jester.
Right.
So how she know how to fight? But hey, her anger. Listen.
She went bonk, bonk, bonk.
She learned today.
and the real crazy thing is we see her and we learn. We see her past. We learn the reason behind her anger.
Tragic
and
villain.
We cannot even blame her for feeling the way she does.
Not tragic villain, sympathetic villain. You see, like, wow, this being was so loyal.
They did her wrong.
And she happened to see what she saw, like a footage, or she saw like a message.
Well, Steven Universe transmitted an intergalactical message that he has saved the world.
It broke that girl. It broke her to the point where she wanted to get revenge
and destroy his whole
world. And then the fact that it almost happened again, because if you didn't see, Spinel like basically resets everyone. Her little scythe kind of makes you go back to factory settings.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Even when she got attacked by it and she turned back to her old self before she became damaged, she kind of went through this almost the same thing, because Steven unknowingly kind of did the same thing his mother did, and she reverted back to her demonic villain self.
I think that it actually speaks to the fact that people who are hurt can be easily triggered by similar forms of abuse,
even though you're not the person that caused it.
Correct.
Dealing with a heart they didn't break, you can still.
I'll be there for you. I will care for you.
What you know about that song?
Back to Spinel.
Yeah.
She basically sees in the end, though, the error of her ways, and just as true as it is to Rebecca's philosophy, it was a misunderstanding. And at the end of the show, Steven does something crazy, which is basically encourages her to become friends with them. And she basically goes, "Nah, I'm good." I'm gonna party with the diamonds.
I mean,
And she basically outlived.
wait, is that how she did that?
Yeah.
Was she like, oh, I'm good?
Well, basically, the diamonds came and said, "Oh, you remind us so much of Pink. We miss Pink." And she's like, "Oh, I miss Pink. We have so much in common, girl. I'm out." But most important thing is she basically gave up her attachment to Rose and her obsession with being Rose's everything.
Right, which is good.
Perfect.
I think they all have some type of baggage because of Rose. She's the true villain. You know the memes on Twitter, the show villain, but the actual villain. I think they'll put the diamonds as, the show's villain, but the actual villain's gonna be Rose, because this woman, this entity, messed everybody up, caused all these.
Right. We think all the diamonds are terrible. Rose just as bad.
The way she left Spinel, the way it just everything she did, and to find out she was Pink the whole time.
So, like there are these people that are like they say, "Oh my gosh, I wish if I died, I get to see who comes to my funeral, and I want to know what they gonna say about me." Rose did that. She faked her own death. She's like, "Who's at this ceremony? Who's grieving me? Oh, everybody, perfect."
And to have those other Pinks, and remember that it's in
All
future
the
rose quartz come
bubbled up.
through and you see how it affects Steven and Pearl and even Greg was like, oh, I can't do this. Like, you playing games. Because that one looked just like her from the face of the whole thing. And they couldn't deal. And the fact that Steven was like, listen, I can't handle this. Like, y'all remind me of her. And they all were faking the funk, actually. You notice? Steven was trying to fake like he wanted them around. And they faked like they want to be around. And come to find out, they just had all this baggage. And because of, Rose... And like them coming to understand, like, we don't have to be good. We can be angry and upset, and also try to work out our issues with each other.
And also, it's okay to be separate.
Yeah. And Steve was like, y'all can come visit. I'll visit y'all. We're siblings, which I like. I like that he said that. Like, we're siblings. I'm like, yes, come on, siblings.
Yeah.
It hit.
I was really, really, really pleased with. I was really pleased with the movie. I thought it was an excellent movie.
It was really good.
The way they went through, because there weren't any. I didn't think there were any plot holes at the end of it. Spinel left. The diamonds got the new Spinel, and then in Steven Universe Future, Spinel reappears along with the diamonds in
Right.
Homeworld.
Around the shoulder.
Excellent.
Yes. Okay, well.
Oh my God, what a great episode.
What a great series overall, Rebecca Sugar. You really did what needed to be done. I appreciate it. It's also something that me and Jeff bond over, so I appreciate it even more so.
Thank you for all the great music.
Great music, character development.
Gay rights.
The whole shebang, that wedding that everyone was so shook about. The storytelling. It went from being episodic to having overarching plots, and like it was just having Steven's dad go back home to his parents' house, and he explained how he felt living with them, even though it seemed picture perfect to us.
Just excellent character development.
The how you did that and how the whole team did that was very like, it's just well done. I appreciate it. I really hope you guys do a new series in the future. I'll tune in, but I will say this: do not drag me. I did not like the episode with Uncle Grandpa. I know it's not canon. I know whatever, but I'm mad y'all did that because Uncle Grandpa is aggravating to my soul and spirit.
It's not that serious, D.
My feelings are valid. TV viewers taught me that your feelings are valid and you can express them.
You absolutely can.
Thank you, Sweaty. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, checking us out. I hope you guys enjoy Jeff being on here. Hopefully in the future he would be a permanent co-host, or I hope we start our own podcast together. That'd be lit.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
That would be lit. Yeah. So hopefully in the future we can do that.
Oh my God, this was so much fun.
Yeah.
I love Steven Universe, and I will happily talk about this again any
Well,
other
guys,
time.
if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave comments below about your favorite episode, characters, and what Steven Universe did for you. If it did anything like for your,
personal life.
Yeah, if it spoke to you, if it helped you through things, if it just made you happy, we want to know. We want to talk to you about it in the comment section below. So feel free to do that for us, and I will see you guys next time.